Now I want to share with you how this is actually related to on Purim, and then we'll open up for some questions. There's a beautiful article that I read by Rabbi David Rosenfeld in Esther, chapter 9, verse 13. It says like this. It says that, and I'm going to quote, "Allow the Jews who are in Shushan to do tomorrow as they did today, and let the 10 sons of Haman be hanged on the gallows." Now, the reason why this comes up as a little bit of a question is the 10 sons of Haman were dead already. Why is Esther going and says, let's hang them tomorrow? Let's kill them tomorrow. So there's two things that we need to focus over here on. Number one, the word for tomorrow was used machar. Machar often means to in the distant future, not just tomorrow. Often means like tomorrow, like very very far in the future. Another aspect that you have to know with the Megillah, with Megillat Esther, is when it says king, under the Kabbalistic version, and when it just says king, it's referring to the King of Kings, God. So when it says over here, the Megillah is alluding to something that somewhere in the future there is going to be, the hanging of 10 of Haman's sons. Now, when you look at the Megillah, and this is in Hebrew for everybody can see it. If you can see, there is 3 letters that are written very, very small. Let's see if I can see it from here. From here, there are 3 letters that are written very, very small. We have one over here, and one over there. So you have the Taf, the Shin, and the Zayin. These letters are written very small. And the question is why? Every letter is supposed to be the same letter. Why are these particularly small? There's also one extra big one. This is about over here. So this, if you take out these letters, did I write it big? Yeah, here it is. If you take out Taf, Shin, Zayin over here, it comes out to the numerical value of 707. And the Vav means the 6th millennium, which means this is the year 5707. What is the year 5707 in the American calendar? It is 1946. What happened in 1946? Oh, this is amazing. It's unbelievable. There were the Nuremberg trials, and there were 11 Nazis to be hung. Yeah, which was really unheard of. I don't know why. Specifically, there were 11 Nazis that were to be hung, and in fact, one of them were not hung. Only 10 of them were hung. Why? Because one of them committed suicide. Let's pause that for a second. Let's look at the story of Esther. We know Haman had 10 sons that were hung. He also had a daughter that committed suicide. This person that committed suicide, his name was Hermann Göring. He also happened to be a cross-dresser. And to say that's a coincidence, that's interesting. 10 German Nazis were hung, and you know what? One of them, Julius Streicher, he said after his face was covered, before he was hung, he screamed out, "Purim Feast, 1946." And if you don't believe me that this is some Jew made it up, this is written in Newsweek magazine, October 28, 1946, page 46. He screamed out, "Purim Fest, 1946." What? Why would he do that? Why would he say that? 10 German people who are, arguably, many people say that they're Amalek, they're from, from the same line as Haman. You have over here, got hung, and the same date that is hidden in the Megillah. The little numbers, the little letters that are over here are all alluding to a date, and that date is the exact date, 1946, that this thing happened. To say this is a coincidence is beyond irrational. It's unbelievable. Purim, so then we're going to get to that. We're going to get to what's the relation with Purim. First of all, was an attempted Holocaust. Haman wanted to destroy everybody, kill every single Jew, men, women, and children on one day. It was an attempted Holocaust. It didn't survive, but it was a attempted Holocaust. If you take, this is another cool fact, unbelievable. If you take the first men in Genesis chapter 4, verse 14, this is where it says Esther, but it's not pronounced Esther, it's Esther. In the Chumash, you take and you go from the first men and you skip 12,111 letters, which stands for the exact amount of letters in Megillat Esther. You will spell out Megillat Esther. Megillat Esther was written in equal mathematical skip from Bereshit, chapter 4, verse 14, from the first mem over there that's written in that pasuk. In the same pasuk is where it says Esther also, the name Esther as well. Now, that's Moldor, that's something else. Yeah, I'm going to 12,111. So the Chassam Sofer goes like this, and he says, you want to know what's one of the most fascinating miracles of Purim? He says the fact that Vashti, was murdered and she got killed, she was a nasty lady. It was only a matter of time when he was going to, do something to her. The fact that Esther became queen, she was very beautiful. She was, fit the role. She became queen. The fact that Haman got hung and got destroyed, he's a messed up man. It was only a matter of time before, he was going to, get, the biggest miracle was that while the Jews were, why the whole Purim story happened? Because the Jews were in the feast of Haman. They were not allowed to be in the feast of Achashverosh. And they went and what the feast was? The feast was celebrating that the Jews are never going to rebuild the temple. There was the Kedim over there. So the Jews are celebrating them not being able to have the temple anymore. And that's when the decree was signed. The biggest miracle was, during that decree is when God was starting to orchestrate how they're going to get saved. Because during that party is when Vashti died. Vashti got killed. And that's what all the factors led up into Esther coming into power. So look how God loves us. While the Jews are sinning and slapping God in his face, Lahavdil, God is saying, okay, but now I'm going to save you this way. Like, this is going to happen, but I put in all the things into play of how the Jews were going to get saved.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.